Welcome to Amateur Redneck Workshop. I'm Harold, and today we're going to make a redneck Indicol. I saw a little fella get one on another channel, and I thought, well, that's a nice simple tool. That it's a lot better if you have something like a Bridgeport or something where you can put the spindle in neutral, but it's still useful on a grizzly like I've got also. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my own version of it, and we'll call it an Indicol or something like it. And I know some of you want to know, where was I at last Thursday? Well, I wasn't in the mood to make a video last Thursday, so I didn't. There you go. I guess probably without any more baloney or shooting the bull, we'll just go ahead and get into the project. This afternoon when I went to the mailbox, it was this, and what it says is Canna Kit Raspberry Pi B+, complete starter kit with Wi-Fi adapter in a black case. Hey, you can't beat that. Where'd this come from? Well, just like the jokes, it came from Kurt Cook, who lives out there in Knott, Texas, somewhere near to Mr. Pete. Open up the box, and I already opened it, of course, because I couldn't wait, but this little Wi-Fi part was in this bag. The Raspberry Pi comes in this, but right now the Raspberry Pi is in this kit box here. He's down inside there. Okay, and let's see here, and this is a Wi-Fi adapter for the Raspberry Pi, and this is power supply. Everybody's got to have a little juice to make things work. Okay, and so it says on there where to go to see a video on how to get everything cranked up and running, and it's already inserted in here. Kurt put it in the case, I assume, and so he's in there. It's in the box, just like ragu spaghetti sauce. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go online to www.cannakit.com and see how they say to assemble everything and get everything going. And I may have something to show you, I may not. I may do a project in this video or a future video with it. Probably a future video, because I don't have any little accessories right now to do anything with it. So we'll see. So I tried to boot the Raspberry Pi on my smart TV and hooked it up to HDMI 2, and I could never get anything to happen. So did a lot of searching online, looking in forums, and I came across a guy that said sometimes it doesn't like anything but HDMI 1. So I changed the cable over to HDMI 1, and kaboom, there he goes, it's cranked up. And then I noticed that the operating system is from 2014, and so I decided that I would upgrade it. So right now it's busy upgrading the operating system. Very interesting thing. A lot of stuff to learn when you mess with something you've never touched before. Okay, so there's a picture of an Indicol, and there's a piece of metal that I'm going to make mine out of. I've already marked off the outline with my Randy Richard scribe and a pair of compasses, a compass. So it's ready for the job to get started. First thing I'm going to do is to make the hole in the center. Looks to me like it would be easier to do before I do anything else. So that's where we'll start. Alright, so we know if we use a hole saw, it's got to run slow, and it's got to be lubricated. So I think we can handle both of those jobs right here. I put my drill press on its lowest speed, which is supposed to be about 230 RPM. If I had 50 cycles, it'd be 190, but I don't. Okay. Let's make it start. And it'll be like this right on through, so I'm not going to make you suffer with watching me drill that thing all the way through. Yeah, I know. You old hands, you could have told me before I got started you're not going to be able to cut more than about 1/4 inch deep with a hole saw. Not in metal. You can see where it's dragging around on it. And I really knew that before I started. I just thought, well, maybe it'll work this time. I don't know why I would think it'd work this time when it didn't work before. So I'm going to put it over in the lathe and bore a hole in it, and then we'll go on and get the job done, you know. I don't know why I even started that way. So what I'm going to have to do is just take the usual steps, drill it as big as I can, and then cram a boring bar in there and finish it off. So let's just get it done. That's a little bit fast for the size drill bit, but that's also aluminum. I need to slow it down. I think that's better. Gives it more torque. Gives it more torque and doesn't strain everything as bad, I don't guess. Looks like that bit's not sharpened evenly. I can honestly say I've never sharpened any of these larger bits. I got them used, so we can blame it on somebody else this time. The other day I got into some poison oak in the front hedge. I was trying to be a good boy and trim the hedges. And I don't know when I touched it. Certainly didn't intend to. But now I've got ugly whelps on my arm. And I keep forgetting not to put that arm out in front of the camera. Did a review the other day, whelps and all, without thinking about it. So I guess I'm just the gross channel. Tailstock's moving backwards. It looks to me like this thing's quit cutting altogether. That's not good. Guess I need to get a bigger one. It pays to pay more attention to what you're doing. It did quit cutting altogether because it was all the way down to the chuck jaws. I haven't had that happen before, but now I have. I think I need to step the chuck jaws out on a different step further out. I didn't anticipate the little boogers would be inside there to drill to. Now that I'm aware of the error of my ways, there's actually 1/2 inch between the back side of this metal and the spot on the chuck jaws where I touched. I guess it's pretty much a 1/2 inch from there down to there. So not good. It made a little ding looks like a center punch mark on one jaw. So what the heck, I'm going to go ahead and start boring it. So I guess you can say this is the boring part of the video, although as near as I can tell from the numbers, all the parts of my videos are boring. I've been making A-bomb size cuts there. I imagine that's what's worn out my lead screw in the past. Probably not good for it this time, but I'm impatient. I'm sure you guys could tell there was way too much stick out on that other boring bar. This is the Big Mama that I made I don't know, a couple years ago, and he can cut way up in some place without a lot of chatter. And I'm in a spot here where I've only got about less than 1/4 of an inch of space between the workpiece and the chuck, and I can see that I'm getting close to the chuck in there, and it makes me nervous. And I'm thinking that I probably should go to something actually smaller where I can see in there better. But this guy does take a good bite without complaining. Now with it sticking out that far, there's a lot of deflection, but there's no chatter. Very little. It's just that I'm nervous about this thing. I have to hook up a dial indicator out here so I can see how deep I am. Well, so in the end, the boring bar that did the best job was the little boring bar I got from Solid Rock Machine Shop that was actually intended for a mill and not for a lathe at all. But it does the job. It didn't chatter, made a smooth cut, and now I'm through, at least boring a hole. As you can see here, I had to shim the jaws a little bit to get the end of them away from the hole there so the boring bar would touch the teeth, because it was just in the right position to touch the jaws if I kept going. A while ago I ran that drill bit deep enough in to touch one of the chuck jaws, and that's it right there. That's that little dot there where I touched it. I can feel it with my thumbnail, so I must have cut its jaw a little bit, but it doesn't look like it's horribly irreversible damage. I still don't have a plate designated for aluminum, but I'm going to cut it anyway. That so beats that damn saw. Oh the heck. Alright, gotta set it up for another cut. Haven't made a cut on an angle like this before. Let's see how it works out. That went right down my layout line. I cheated. I used a square to set it up. That's looking good now. Slice it in half and it'll be time to start doing all the other good stuff. All right, last cut. Looks good to me.
Well, that's all, folks. Y'all try to subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Leave a comment if you got something to say. And above all, remember, keep on keeping on. Bye now.